George Orwell, born Eric Blair in 1903, is an author known widely for his dystopian prose metaphors of totalitarian dictatorships in Animal Farm and 1984, but it's his earlier works that had the most profound effect on me. Down and Out in Paris and London recalls the period where Orwell, as a young journalist with socialist sympathies, deliberately decides to slum it and see what life of poverty is truly like.
The walls were as thin as matchwood, and to hide the cracks they had been covered with layer after layer of pink paper, which had come loose and housed innumerable bugs. Near the ceiling, long lines of bugs marched all day like columns of soldiers, and at night came down ravenously hungry.
He does this in both of the titular cities, and in Paris works as a dishwasher in a kitchen while living with a Russian roommate who constantly sells his coat for food money only to rebuy it whenever he can. It's a showcase of the poverty trap, the inescapability of a situation where one finds himself constantly in debt and starved.
But you also discover the great redeeming feature of poverty, the fact that it annihilates the future. Within certain limits, it is actually true that the less money you have, the less you worry. When you have 100 francs in the world, you are liable to the most craven panics. When you have only 3 francs, you are quite indifferent. For 3 francs will feed you till tomorrow, and you cannot think further than that. You are bored, but you are not afraid. And there is another feeling that is a great consolation in poverty. I believe everyone who has been hard up has experienced it. It is a feeling of relief, almost of pleasure, at knowing yourself at last genuinely down and out. It takes off a lot of anxiety.
Another early book, Burma Days, is more a work of fiction, but it comes from true observations Orwell had growing up in colonial British Burma in South Asia. The novel follows a listless Englishman in a country club exclusive to the idle white privileged, and his lust for a dull yet available English lady newcomer to the club. In opposition to Down and Out, it's a class struggle from the other side, a view from the high tower of being bored and boring and dull, but having to keep appearances for the sake of everyone else within that lofty, self-proclaimed high society system. Our protagonist takes his own life after being embarrassed by his Burmese mistress, machinations set in motion by a local warlord whose main goal is to join the White Club as a token member. Both of these books are superb explorations of realistically complex characters built on Orwell's personal experiences, and those characters weaving in and out of social strata. It's really fun to see how much they care about fitting in where they feel they most belong, or at least where they want to be, even as they want to escape that rung of their respective social ladders. Among the many things I take from Orwell include having the courage of your convictions, using your own experiences to get verisimilitude in your work, make fun of yourself, and be willing to put yourself in the shoes of others to understand them. And through the experiences of others, the greater you understand yourself. Thank you, George Orwell, for all your contributions.